Hello, Algebra 1! Today is Wednesday, May 13th, and we are going to do day 2 of simplifying radicals. Okay, so Wednesday, May 13th. We're doing day 2 of simplifying radicals. Or square roots, whatever. I mean, interchangeable for us today, or for our purpose. Let's review quick from Monday. Let's write down like the first 15 perfect squares just so we have them. So remember, perfect squares is when you take a number times itself, and it's that number. So like 1 squared would be 1, 2 squared, 4, 3 squared, 9, 4 squared, 16, 5 squared, 25, 6 squared, 36, 7 squared, 49, 8 squared, 64, 9 squared, 81, 10 squared is 100, 11 squared is 121, 12 squared, 144, 13 squared is 169. Well, we should be okay with the first 13. Okay, so remember though that these bottom numbers, these are like our best friends during this whole process because these are the numbers, our perfect squares. Perfect squares. Those are the numbers I use when I try to simplify my problems, right? So let's just review a tish from Monday because by the looks of our homework, some of us are like rocking it and some of us are maybe a little confused, and that's okay. It's new, so we should be confused, right? Like you don't just know how to do things. So let's review. So if I wanted to simplify the square root of 81, hopefully maybe now these numbers, our perfect squares, are kind of embedded in your head a bit. I'm gonna try to make this, okay. Are embedded in your head a little bit, right? And hopefully 81 makes you think, well, should I check? Yeah, 81 is already a perfect square, which is just 9. So the square root of 81 is just 9, and that's it. We're done. Okay, now let's try, what if we had negative 3 times the square root of 121? So I can't do anything with that negative 3 out in front right now, like it's just hanging out, so drop it down. But now, the square root of 121, is 121 on our list of perfect squares? Heyo, yep, right here. It's 11 squared. So the square root of 121 is just 11. Now how do I finish this off? What's negative 3 times 11? Negative 33, bingo. Good work, team. Yep. Okay, so these ones are pretty straightforward because we were given perfect squares under the radical. But we learned, what do we do when we have a number that's not a perfect square? Because look, is 63 on my list of perfect squares? No, 64 is, it's close, but it's not 63. So now my job is to figure out which one of these numbers less than 63 evenly goes into 63. So if you have good number sense, you could probably pick out which one of these numbers evenly goes into 63. And it's okay if you don't, because just remember, it's just guess and check. So 63 divided by, I would pick the next smallest number. 49, does that evenly go into 63? Nope, I get a decimal, so we move on. 63 divided by 36, decimal, moving on. 63 divided by 25, decimal. 63 divided by 16, another decimal. 63 divided by 9, ooh, a whole number. Now I bet some of you probably knew right away that 9 evenly goes into 63, so you could have skipped that whole guess and check process, but if you didn't see that right away, that's what I want you to do. So I had 9 goes into 63 7 times, so these are equivalent because 63 and 9 times 7 is 63, so we're okay. But now what's the square root of 9? Well, the square root of 9 is just 3. Do we know what the square root of 7 is? Nope. So we leave it as decimal. And that's it. Okay, let's try another one, but with a number out front. So again, same sort of process. So can I, sorry about that, guys. Can I do anything with this 8 out in front? No, I can't. So we're going to bring it down. And now 320. So just check. Let's just see. Is 320 a perfect square? We don't know. Maybe. Ooh, nope. I get a decimal. So that's too bad. So let's go with our list and just start plugging in. So 320 divided by 169. Decimal. Try another one. 320 divided by 144. Decimal. We're going to keep going. 121. Nope. Divided by 100. Decimal. 320 divided by 81. Decimal. Let's see if we're getting close to anything. Oh, look at that. 5 and 64. So the square root of 64 times the square root of 5. Now, what is the square root of 64? It's 8. So now I'm going to drop down that 8 out in front. We said the square root of 64 is 8, so times 8. Do we know what the square root of 5 is? Is that not on my perfect squares list? Nope, so it stays square root of 5. So now we're going to take 8 times 8 and get 64 root 5. Okay, one more kind of this type of problem, and then we're going to just maybe explore something else, okay? Just to kind of, for funsies, right? That we always do things for fun. Okay, let's see here. -2, can't do anything with it, so drop it down. Now let's check, is 180 a perfect square? So in your calculator, take the square root of 180. No, it's not a perfect square. So now our job is to figure out which perfect square evenly goes into 180. So 180 divided by 169. Nope. 180 divided by 144. Nope. 180 divided by 121. Nope. 180 divided by 100. Still a no. 81. Nope. Try 64. Negative. 49. Maybe there isn't one. Who knows? Guys, it's just guess and check. Oh, look at that. We got a 5. 36 and 5. So square root of 36 times the square root of 5. Now, drop down that -2. We can't do anything with it yet. But now, what's the square root of 36? It's 6. -2 times 6 we know is -12 square roots of 5. Awesome. Okay, so we saw these types of problems on Monday, and we just reviewed them. And now let's just try one step further, just a little bit further, okay? Let's just see what happens. What if we had multiplication and then simplified? So multiplication with radicals. That's what these problems are. We're going to multiply with radicals. Hold on. I'm going to grab my other little sheet here so I can see my perfect squares. Give me just a quick second, you guys. Maybe if I can find it. How's everyone's day going? We're doing okay? I almost have it. Maybe I don't. Oh, got it. Okay, found it. So now we can see our numbers on this side of our paper. We'll go like this. Do you guys know I've always wanted to teach a music class because I wanted to conduct? So I always sing. Okay, fun fact. Fun fact about me. Okay, here we go. What if you had a problem like this? The square root of 8 times -3 square roots of 2. Holy cow, what? I know, it looks kind of confusing, but it's not. So let's just think about some things here. What imaginary number is out in front of the square root of 8? There's an imaginary 1, right? So just think the numbers on the outside go together and the numbers under the radical go together. So what's 1 times negative 3? That's just negative 3. And now what's 8 times 2? Well, 8 times 2 is 16. And now look, we have a problem just like up here. We just had to do this step first. So again, can't do anything with that negative 3, so drop it down. But what's the square root of 16? It's 4, yeah. And now we have negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. That's it. We did it. Okay, let's try this one. Let's try square root 3 times negative square root 2. So remember the numbers out in front go with each other, so there's an imaginary 1 times an imaginary negative 1. So 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And then the numbers under the radical go together. So 3 times 2 is 6. So you could either write it as negative 1 square root 6 or just negative square root 6. These are both good answers. Okay, let's try this one. A little more challenging, but you guys can handle it. 5 square roots of 10 times negative 7 root 12. So remember the numbers on the outside go together. So 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. And then the numbers on the inside go together. So 10 times 12 is 120. And now we play our favorite little game here. You guys can see this close enough. Yeah, that should work. Okay, we have to figure out what perfect square goes into 120. So let's start with 100. 120 divided by 100. No dice, decimal. 120 divided by 81. Nothing. 120 divided by 64. Nope. 120 divided by 49. It's another no. Divided by 36. Nope. 120 divided by 25. Negative. Ghost Rider. 16. Nope. Geez, maybe we might be done. There might not be one. Nope. 9 didn't work either. Let's try 4. Ha. The very last one on our list. 4. It goes in there 30 times. So drop down your negative 35. And we said the square root of 4 goes in there how many times? 30. Okay, still can't do anything with that negative 35, so drop it down. Now what's the square root of 4? 2. Oops, that's a 30, 30, 30. 35 times, negative 35 times 2 is negative 70. We don't know what the square root of 30 is, so we just leave it as root 30. Okay, let's do one more for good luck. Maybe I encourage you to maybe start this one, pause the video, and then see how you do. That might be a good idea. But we're going to have negative 4 times the square root of 14 times 2 square roots of 8. Yeah, why don't you try this one on your own? See how it goes, and then we can compare. So I'm assuming some of you stopped the video, and I'm assuming some of you didn't. You know, that's just sometimes how this works. But I'm going to do it now. So remember the numbers out in front go together. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. The numbers on the inside go together. So 14 times 8, 112. And now from here, folks, we just do our guess and check. So start with what? 100, because that's where 112 would fall. So 112 divided by 100. Decimal 112 divided by 81. Oops, that's not 112. Doesn't matter, still a decimal. 112 divided by 64. Decimal 112 divided by 49. Decimal divided by 36. Still a decimal. 25 doesn't work. Does 16 work? Oh, sure does, kids. We get a 7. So drop down that -8. And we just found out that the square root of 16 times the square root of 7 gives us the square root of 112. Again, can't do anything with that -8, so drop her down. What's the square root of 16? 4. Can't do anything with the square root of 7, so just leave it. Now -8 times 4 is -32 square roots of 7. Okay, kiddos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. Have a super duper day. Be united. Kindness week. Live the tradition. Onward Central. All those things. Miss you. And take care.